Good morning, lovely ladies and gentlemen from across the world. I bring you very warm greetings from the National Environment and Planning Agency. Our topic for today is plastic pollution, communicating the environmental threat. So what we found in our discussions with our various stakeholder groups is that they were aware of the environmental threats. So we have had International Coastal Cleanup Day activities in Jamaica for several years. We are a island community and we know how much it affects our marine and plant life, as well as we would have seen when we've had natural disasters such as hurricanes and floods. We would have seen the impact on plastics. So we had a baseline in terms of our country understanding and the general stakeholder, the general public understanding that the menace that plastic is. So for us, we had a basis when we actually went out into the highways and byways of Jamaica. What we saw where persons had questions was in terms of alternatives. So that is the basis on which we have built our work on communicating the environmental threat. So persons wanted to make the switch, but we had to equip them with the information to make the switch. There were in some instances where persons didn't always know and have the full information. So we utilize that approach as well. In terms of the contents of my presentation today, we're going to be looking at how legislation has paved the way for the successful implementation, and we still have some work to do there with the ban on single-use plastics that took effect on January 1, 2019. And then we're going to take a look back at a 360-degree approach, overview of some of the work that we've done regarding communications. And in terms of those elements, we would be looking at branding. We would be looking at branding, advertising, media strategy and planning, stakeholder relations, digital marketing, search marketing, and partnerships. And I left partnerships for last because I think it's the most important thing. So in terms of legislation paving the way, what has really helped Jamaica is the legislation, two of which, one is under the Trade Act and the next is under the Natural Resources Conservation Authority Act. So legislation paving the way. In terms of the legislations were enacted in 2018, and it outlines parameters in terms of what items are banned. It also gave a progression in terms of a timeline. So Jamaica's ban on single-use plastics has been implemented in a phased approach. In 2019, single-use plastic bags 24 by 24 inches and smaller with a thickness of 1.2 mils. We also banned plastic drinking straws and also the importation of expanded polystyrene foam food containers. So that was in phase one. In phase two, we stepped up the game with a ban on the production, manufacture, distribution, and use of single-use plastic foam food containers. So that's the expanded polystyrene foam. And in this year, we're in our third phase. And in terms of that, it's looking at straws attached to juice boxes and juice pouches. We had currently the government of Jamaica through the Ministry of Housing, Urban Renewal, Environment and Climate Change has been working with the industry and has been leading on the initiative. And there is an extension that runs until the end of September for persons to continue to use those items as we phase out. So what has worked for Jamaica is a phased approach. There have been challenges, and some of those challenges have resulted in the prosecution of individuals. So to date, we have had 42 businesses and individuals that have been prosecuted for breaches under the Natural Resources Conservation Authority Plastic Packaging Material Prohibition Order 2018. And 27 of those businesses and individuals have been convicted and fined. And there are currently an additional 10 matters which are still before the courts. So what we have done as a part of our strategy is we have put those names out there because we want persons to understand the importance of voluntary compliance. But in the absence of voluntary compliance, it's important to know that the law will take effect where that is concerned.